You're watching Photographing the World 4 behind the scenes. If you'd like to learn more about the full tutorial, check out fstoppers.com/store. In the last episode, we wrapped up filming in North America, but since then, 1 year has passed, and right before we went down to South America, Patrick and I found ourselves in Turks and Caicos, and I was making a huge life decision.
So today, I think Lee's gonna cut his hair, and so we are setting up the video that we're about to produce, and luckily we're in Turks and Caicos with a lot of camera gear because we're doing a production down here. Are you ready for this?
It's a little too real, you guys.
That's the face.
A little too real.
That's the face of being ready.
So I think I realized I was going bald like 3 years ago when we filmed this video where I had to dress up like a hipster and I shaved my hair in this really stupid looking way. And at the end of the video, I decided just to shave my head completely. And even then, I didn't really notice anything was that weird. I had shaved my head before, but when my hair started growing back, I realized, oh my gosh, it's coming in everywhere except right here in the front. And then over the course of the last few years, my hair's been falling out more and more and more. And I've been telling everybody, like, I'm gonna have to shave my head soon, Let me know when it gets bad enough. It's not a problem with shaving your head. That's not scary, I've done it before. It's the idea that you're shaving your head and you're making the decision that for the rest of my life, I will do this. I don't know, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm terrified of what's about to happen. Oh my gosh, this looks ridiculous.
No.
This looks so ridiculous.
You look badass.
No, I do not. No, I do not.
What have we done?
What are you telling me to keep this for? I look like a troll doll. Let's go back out.
You should have seen what it looked like before we got it.
We're taking it all off. Goodness.
Did it!
I did it.
You gotta start looking more badass.
Yeah, I need the muscles to match the hairdo. All right, so my initial reaction is I do not like the way that it looks, but I think once I start to tan a little bit, it will become a little bit more acceptable for me. But at the moment, it's a pretty big shock. I hope this phone is waterproof. All right, guys, we're all done here in Turks and Caicos. Let's head back to Charleston and then on to South America. So this is the new DJI Mavic Air, and we bought the Mavic after Photographing the World 3, and we have not used it one time. So for this trip, I thought we'll bring a Mavic and we'll get a loaner Mavic Air from B&H just to test it out.
But there's no way we could possibly get professional footage from this. No way.
That's what people say, that it's got the same Mavic camera and an even smaller drone. Look how incredible that is. Let me quickly show you what we've done with packing here. I'm very excited about this because we have consolidated things down into just 4 bags. 2 backpacks, that's what we're going to carry on, and then 2 check luggages, which has everything else that we could possibly need. So check this out. In here, I have 2 cameras. I've got the server that we're going to be working off of, lots of random cables, mice, extra hard drive to back everything up again. We've got some mics, odds and ends here. In this spot here, I even made room for my new Nintendo Switch, so I won't be bored during the 10-12 hour flight. Over here is Patrick's bag. He also has 2 GH5s. This is actually the GH5S. This is the low light version. Here you can see he's got a Mavic, and underneath here he's got a bunch of gimbal stuff for all the GH5s. So we're all set there. Both of these backpacks also have laptops and iPads. And then these are our 2 checked luggages. And in both of those bags, we have all of our clothes and we have the big stuff. So we have, I believe, 3 or 4 tripods and then charging cables and stuff like that that just wouldn't fit in these bags. Now, I did say that we only had 4 bags. I lied just a little bit. We have this bag as well. This is the new DJI Mavic Air, and everything fits in this. I mean, if you compare this to the amount of gear that we brought on the very first Photographing the World, I would say we're at like 40%, 30% of what we brought that first time. Now, even though we are like Delta preferred or whatever it is, and we can get more than 50-pound bags, we're gonna be traveling all over South America with these bags, and they will not allow you to go over 50 pounds. All right, this is Patrick's bag here. Right at 50. Here's my bag. Oh, I'm a little over. Oh, I gotta find something to pull out.
Are you below weight?
I'm like 2 pounds overweight. You can fit that in here? You got plenty of room, right?
Where? No.
So, are you just expecting it to be really cold down there, or?
20 degrees.
It's not gonna be 20 degrees.
One of the locations I looked up last night said 20 degrees at that moment.
I am not prepared at all for 20 degrees. Everybody has complained the last few tutorials that Patrick did not bring the moon boots, or that the moon boots showed up like later in the behind the scenes. Well, from day one,
We're gonna have a nice day today.
yes, we will.
Amazing boots.
Thank you.
She's got fans of the boots already, and the trip's just starting.
The best thing about leaving Charleston Airport is this is our TSA line.
Yeah, barely ever do you have to wait more than like 10 minutes.
They never check us for anything.
Dude, they're totally checking out those boots. They're not letting you get by with that.
Yes, I got the full groinal pat down, and yet the bag that I have, like 50 pounds of camera gear, they didn't check it, they didn't do anything.
We got up there and they were like, every piece of electronics out of the bag, especially cameras. And then they were like, sir, do you have any electronics in the bag? And we were like, nope, we don't have any electronics in the bag. Went through no problem, didn't even stop us. We then jumped on a flight to Atlanta to meet up with Aliyah and Naomi. So now we begin a 10-hour flight. I'm not excited about this. We then arrived in Santiago, met up with our guide Conti, spent the night, woke up before 5 a.m. and headed back to the airport to head down to Patagonia. What do you think of Patrick's shoes?
Famous boots. Yeah.
Oh, you've heard of the boots?
Yeah, of course. I've seen them.
The tales are told throughout your country.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone's heard of these boots, man. Everyone.
Apparently this is where we're going. This is what our guide is telling us. And to be perfectly honest, I have no idea where we're going. I have done no research. I have not looked at a single picture. And that looks awesome.
So we're about to load into the next van. And look at this bad boy.
Oh my gosh, just when I thought the step was too high.
I'm taking this back seat back here. Ow! You gotta watch out for that. Gotta watch out for that. After a 4-hour drive, we finally arrived. This may be the coolest hotel I've ever seen in my entire life. This is crazy. Very crazy. If you ever find yourself in Torres del Paine and you're looking for an incredible hotel to stay in, definitely check out Tierra Patagonia. Not only is this the nicest hotel I've ever stayed at, it's also probably the most impressive architecture I've ever seen in my life. All right, it is 6:30 a.m. and we are heading out for the first morning of shooting. If there's ever going to be a mistake made with like gear or not being prepared, it's today. So I'm trying to wake myself up and make sure that we have everything. As we started unpacking our gear, we kept finding these prints of Atlas in the sun, this horrible picture that David took with these little words of wisdom. How many more could he have possibly made?
What's the chance? There's one right here. Oh.
My prediction for today is total failure. It's not raining hard right now, but I think it's raining enough that this isn't gonna work. But let's go outside and be cold anyway, right? So we were supposed to be leaving at 7 a.m. It is now 7:23, and I'm the only one in the van. I'm supposed to be the irresponsible one. And let's see what time it is.
It's fair. We both have a lot of hair care to take care of.
Yeah.
Low blow, Elia.
wake.
Last night I gave myself a shave, so I was ready in the morning. Elia, do you think this is going to be a success or failure?
Well, that depends on how you define failure.
I define failure like this.
Good morning, everybody. We are just outside of Torres del Paine National Park. I'm standing here above Laguna Marga, which is a beautiful lake. It's actually a salt lake, and we have the salt formations along the base of the lake.
All right, our gear's soaking wet. We've only got one mic going. We're going against our own rule because we know this is gonna be a failure today, so Elia is just going to say something about how we have to come back later because it's raining.
This is a really unique situation for me because I've never been to Patagonia. I've actually never been to Chile. So each one of these locations, I'm gonna have to figure it out on the fly as we go. This is very unlike the previous Photographing the World editions because in those previous editions, I've at least known something about the environment I'm gonna find myself in.
The question I have now is, should I put up a drone and get some kind of dreary footage with the drone and potentially destroy the drone in the rain? But being that this is the first day down here in Patagonia, I'm not gonna put the drone up in the rain. I'm gonna try to save the drone and use it when it's not raining. So at the moment, I'm just getting a couple more time lapses of the clouds and the fog moving through so we have something to cut to while Eli's doing that intro interview. And then we're probably gonna come back later on, maybe later on today, when we can see the mountains. And Elia will do the scouting part of this lesson where he figures out exactly where he wants to set up the camera. So we headed back to the hotel. So I was pulling out my Nintendo Switch and I found another inspirational message. This one says, "Quality is not an act, it's a habit." Thank you, David.
That is a wingless bird.
It's a wingless bird. This is what Elia was afraid of in New Zealand. Just like ostriches right by the side of the road. Just walk. Oh, there he goes. I've seen ostriches before, but always in captivity. It's so weird to see them just chilling by the side of the road. We've only been here for a couple of hours, and I've already seen more animals than maybe I've seen on any country ever. I currently trying to track down a herd of wild horses that are very close to our hotel. So I'm just walking down the road where we drove in. I'm gonna see if I can find these horses. It's just crazy how many animals there are just chilling by the side of the road, and how many strange animals like flamingos. What in the world? All right, these horses are looking right at me. Let's set up my 200 millimeter and see what I can get. All right, this shot's okay. It's a decent establishing shot, but you know I gotta get closer. All right, I'm getting some decent shots of these horses, but they're all looking at me. They're very suspicious. And each time I try to get close, they get a little bit further away. So here's my shot right now. It's all right, you can see a bunch of the horses, but I really want like an up close and personal shot. This white horse has not taken its eyes off of me this entire time. It feels like it's just waiting for its moment to trample me. All right, so we're back in the hotel room. I've got to set up the server and the computers and everything, and there's not really a place to sit. I have a good idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this bench out. I'm gonna put the computers up here, and then we can sit on the bench and work on our computers up there. Little did I know, while I was setting up, Patrick had actually asked management for a table.
I thought it was a good idea.
I'm gonna kill you, Patrick.
What?
I was just filming a video where I was like, I have the perfect setup ever. We don't need to bring anything else into the room. And now we've got this.
After all that effort, I was like, I can't stop them.
I know, I felt so bad.
How did they actually, it looked like it was not possible to get it in. But
That's the problem with 5-star resorts, is any other place would be like, oh, why don't you just move the table out? Or like, it's not gonna fit. But here they're like, we will build you a table to make sure that it
native
fits.
woods.
Exactly.
So while these guys are doing whatever the hell it is that they're doing, I'm gonna go to the spa and enjoy this beautiful resort.
Somebody's gotta get some work done.
I think they're setting up the server or something. It takes a while. They have all the computers, they have the big hard drive. The good thing is we're here for a week. Once they set it up, we'll be able to import the files every day. I'll hand them the images and they'll do the rough cuts. Believe it or not, for as inefficient as they look, they actually get a lot done. Man, this place, like everywhere, every turn, everywhere you go is just beautiful. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I've never had such a beautiful view. Yeah, this is by far the best place I think I've ever stayed. Thank you, Torres de Pines and Patagonia, for the rainy, cloudy day. This was much needed. I hope the guys are having just as much fun as me in Server Central.
All right, so I gotta admit the table's kind of nice. There's one problem with the table though. It wobbles, but I've got an idea. What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Oh, that's clever. Perfect.
Without hard work, nothing grows but weeds.
This photo actually did come in handy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, look at that. That's sturdy.
Thank you, David. Stay tuned for next week when the weather gets even worse.
It's a little windy!
To learn more about photographing the World 4, head over to fstoppers.com/store.